Well, hey, 2017 Malibus we're working on. There's several years with the same type of suspension. Does it sound like this when you're going over bumps? Chance what's going on in the front of that car is either the strut itself or the mount has some play, or somewhere to this 100,000 miles on this car. I guess I'm understanding you hear that on quite a few cars. Now there's different problems in the back. Watch my other video on that. But on the front, we're going to dig into that here yet today. Now, of course, what I'm going to show you doesn't replace what's found in the service manual, but I'm just going to give you some actual how this actually works, because let's say service manual doesn't cover all the details necessarily, or maybe you just want to see how it's done. So let's dig into this car right now. Now, what's happening here on the front of the car, this is where the strut mounts up here. What will happen is there's play somewhere in one of our components. If you bounce up and down the front of this car, you'll actually feel a solid popping on this side, pop over the driver's side. I don't feel anything over there yet, but we plan to do both sides while we're in here. But you'll actually feel it thump, thump, thump as it going up and down. Again, can't necessarily prove it, but we looked at the rest of the suspension parts: sway bar links, ball joints, tie rod, control arm bushings. Everything else visibly looks fine. This is the only area we're detecting any problems. So our goal is, once we replace the struts, go for that test drive, should take care of the noise. So first things first, to get into this, need to properly support the car, get it up off the ground so get the wheels off it, and then we'll go from there. Got the car properly supported off the ground, not on a jack. There's jack stands under there, I assure you. What we got to do though, upper strut mount. There's 4 fasteners, 4 bolts go into the actual upper mount. 1, 2, 3, you ain't gonna see 4. You have to take the plastic cowling loose off of that to be able to move this out of the way to get access to it. Now that's as simple as put the wipers in the up position, and he's gonna remove, there's 6 or so 7B clips across the front here. You pop those loose. Once they're loose, there'll be 6 more bolts hiding underneath this here small 8mm bolt, 10mm socket. Should take those out. So once you get those all popped out of the way, we'll get those bolts, get this room to get you here to take care of those mounts. Now with the 6 clips removed, like I said, it makes this upper piece of plastic move around. Then there's actually the 6 bolts are underneath here. Now you can push it back, and now it exposes our bolt heads to drop the strut assembly. But there's something we need to do first. When we get down here, there's a couple things. The sway bar link itself has to be removed off of the strut. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna remove these 2 bolts, separate the spindle from the strut. That way that's out of the way. And then it looks like the brake line is also, a brake hose is attached to the strut just by 1 bolt. That looks pretty self-explanatory. The downside is sway bar links. They have an Allen head hole in the end of it here. And it's of course a typical nut, but you can't put your socket over top of it because the whole thing's gonna spin. So you have to get like an Allen wrench or Allen socket and then use a wrench. And the idea though is, if you're going to reuse these, try to keep from spinning the end of that sway bar link. Try to hold it stationary and take the nut off, because the more times you spin that sway bar link, it wears it out. Then it also creates a very similar knocking noise. So right now these are tight. We were talking about earlier in the beginning of the video, things that are gonna make knocking noise. These here, when they get worn out, they will also make a clunking noise in your front suspension. Typically you can pry up and down the sway bar, any detectable motion they need replaced. These ones are good. You have control arm bushings, that's the rear one. And you have a front one up here. They are in good shape, that's not it. Our ball joint, tire, everything was good. So pretty confident changing the strut's gonna fix our noise. So next thing I'm gonna do is work on getting this fastener removed, these 2 bolts, that one, and then we'll take the 4 on top out. So sway bar link, I'm gonna cheat, pop it loose with the impact. And then, this is the part that just takes some time. You can put a regular wrench on there, but see how it turns now? Let me just get these going the right way. Again, trying to hold that stud still, it reduced the amount of wear on that sway bar link, just because I don't want to buy new ones. I'll go ahead and pop the brake hose bracket. Wow. Of course. Next thing we're going to do, the 2 bolts that actually hold the strut on, these are serrated behind the bolt into the strut and into the knuckle. So basically, just take the nut loose. I like to run the nut just back on. That way I can tap on the end of the bolt without damaging the threads. Okay. Now up top side. Got one bolt kind of just holding things in place of the four. Now the strut. Gravity. That sway bar doesn't want to let go. There we go. And that's out. Now, it isn't a bad idea. Just because you order these parts, it's not always safe to assume it's the right stuff. Do a side-by-side comparison. And a quick little visual. Same tab for mounting the brake hose? Check. Same size hole or so-ish for mounting up our sway bar? Yep. All clocked about the same? Yeah, so far. Strut mount, same number of holes. Yeah, it looks pretty good. This one has a sticker that says don't take that nut off unless you want to blow your head off, and I agree with that, so don't do that. I'm going to rotate that just a little bit. But all in all, I'd say that's a winner. It's going to be installed. And just in case you didn't understand what like serrated, these have these little serrations are on the stud. That'll kind of work as you hammer this back into place. It bites into the spindle here. You'll see the little marks inside. That helps keep it from spinning and keeps it drawed up tight. So now we're also this thing back up into place.
I'm on.
Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the gold and snag the top first. That way I can use the bolts to help carry the weight. Okay, now that all the weight's supported up there. Put this back.
Ouch.
And you don't gotta get those all the way in. Just started. I'll let this guy do the rest of the work. I like to kind of do the same thing, putting that sway bar link back on. Now look at that, it's actually staying in place as I run the nut down. That makes my life easy. Now it's starting to turn. Now, if your sway bar links are worn out and making noise, you know how to be nice to them. Just cut them off here. Okay. Don't forget, last but not least, our little brake hose support bolt. Run that in there. And then we'll go up top side. Okay. And okay, all right. Bottom ones are torqued to 133 foot-pounds. Again, you don't got to put anything on the bolt because it's serrated. Top mounts are only 22 foot-pounds. So that 3/8 impact definitely got me close. Oh, almost got it there. Well. Okay. Now I've got to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to go for a drive. And the cowling, there's reversal of installation. Put your bolts across here, all 6 of those. Then come back to your little push pins. I'm going to torque the lug nuts here on the wheels to get my jack stands out from underneath it. Hit the same road and see if we made it more good. As long as we got everything right and we guessed the right part. Again, our reason for replacing, I'm going to put our hand on the upper strut mount and bounce from the car. I could actually feel it popping only in the right front. That's the only side we're getting noise from. Everything else visibly and what we could see or basically test look good. So let's go for a drive and see if we got this right. Ooh, so far, really nice. This is the one that really rattled last time. Absolutely nothing. I like it. I think we got her fixed. If anything, you know how to put struts in your Malibu. Always, there's all things to keep in mind, but either way, not a bad job to do. Get it done here in an afternoon in the driveway yourself, some basic hand tools, making it happen. Wanted to share it with you all, and got some more tips like this happening and come along. Don't forget to hit subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll catch you all next time.